know my camera angle doesn't usually show my shirt, so I just wanted you to get to appreciate it's a Hocus Pocus ugly sweater baseball shirt. So, 'tis the season. What's up, guys? It's B. Renee. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. It is the second week of October. No matter how many times I say that, it's still true. It doesn't feel any more true, but it continues to be true, which means we should be right in the throes of getting ready for NaNoWriMo. NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month. It is every November, and a lot of writers tend to take October as the opportunity to prep for NaNoWriMo, affectionately referred to as Preptober. And as someone who has done NaNoWriMo exactly one time, I feel like I'm qualified to tell you, give you some advice on Preptober, on what to do, what not to do, and give you a little pep talk to get you ready for NaNoWriMo. So let's talk about my Preptober do's and don'ts. The first thing you want to do for Preptober is you want to make sure you have an account on nanowrimo.org. That is where you can track your progress. That is where you can update your word count. That is where you can find friends. You can add me as a friend. I'll put my link in the description. And that's where our community is. And when you win, you gotta win on there. That's how you win NaNoWriMo, is by getting to 50,000 words in the word tracker on nanowrimo.org. So make sure you have one set up before November 1st so you can start counting. So let's get a little transparent. Do understand what you're getting yourself into. NaNoWriMo is 50,000 words in 30 days. Of course, this challenge couldn't take place in a month with 31 days. It had to be a short month. So just keep that in mind. 30 days, 50,000 words. That is about 1,667 words a day. In the same month, Americans, as Thanksgiving, Black Friday, midterms for people, a lot of family events, football if you're into that, fall activities if you have fall where you live. I don't. I live in Florida. That doesn't happen here. It's Halloween and then nothing until Christmas. So it doesn't matter for me. Not to stress you out, but like just realize that, because last year I went away for Thanksgiving. My family doesn't really do anything for Thanksgiving, but my boyfriend's family does. And so I made it my goal to try to finish NaNoWriMo before we left for Thanksgiving break. So in like 20 days, I want to do 50,000 words. So just like understand that if you do family things in November, like those aren't just gonna go away because you want to do NaNoWriMo, so budget for that. As far as your project goes, I would have the following things just kind of figured out. Have a general outline, kind of have a basic idea of your protagonist and antagonist / villain, who your main characters are, what the main conflict is. Just kind of have a baseline going and have a general, this is what's gonna happen by November 1st. So that's gonna lead me to my first don't. Don't get ahead of yourself. It's super easy once you start outlining and thinking about characters to wanna go ahead and start writing your draft. But if you wanna win NaNoWriMo, which is 50,000 words in 30 days, wait until the beginning. I mean, you can start writing in October, that's fine, but wait till November 1st. Like the whole point of it is like start and finish a novel within those 30 days. So wait. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get too excited once you start outlining and planning everything and prepping in Preptober. Don't start writing yet. Do start to figure out a schedule. 1,667 words in 30 days is no joke, especially if writing is not your full-time job, which most nano people, it's not your full-time job. So figure out where you can fit writing in. Is it early in the morning before you go to work, before your kids wake up? Is it late at night when your kids are asleep? When you get home from work? Is it when your partner's at work and you're home? Is it on your lunch break? For me, to get my words in, I had to hustle. So I was waking up at 5 a.m., writing until I had to go to work at 8 a.m., I was writing on my iPad on my lunch break. I was writing for 2 hours every night when I got home. I would spend like hours on Saturday mornings at the library trying to write. And again, because I cut myself short and had a shorter deadline because I was going to New York the day before we left, I went to a cafe after work and I sat there for 4 hours to finish my draft. I just had to get it all down. I would not let myself leave until I finished it. So figure out where in your life you're gonna have time to write, because you're gonna need to know. If you try to figure it out in November, not gonna happen. It's gonna be too late. You need to know before so that you know you can set yourself up for success. Speaking of setting yourself up for success, you need a place to vomit your stream of consciousness onto, whether that is a dedicated Nano notebook, whether that's a dedicated Google Doc or Word doc, or a dedicated note in your notes app on your phone, or whatever it might be. You need a place that you can vomit every thought related to this WIP. I have a whole folder in my Google Drive for this nano project this year, where every time I think of something, I throw it in there. Any picture I see that reminds me of my girls, I throw it in there. Speaking of pictures, you know I'm gonna say it, have something to get you through the writer's blocks. Whether it's a Pinterest board, a playlist, etc., etc. I'm a big believer in that kind of external source material being hugely influential to getting over my writer's blocks, giving me more inspiration to help me understand kind of where my story is going, and that is some serious time-consuming stuff that you don't want to be doing during nano. You need to do that before. You need to kind of be brainstorming and getting those kind of things together before nano, because you ain't gonna have time to procrastinate. My next thing is don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Ideally, your nano project would turn into your a WIP for the future. So it's basically something, you know, a WIP that you want to pursue for publication or whatever. So with that being said, your nano project is a rough draft. It is a rough draft. We're not saying write a book in 30 days, even though that's the thing. Oh, write a book in 30 days. It's write 50,000 words in 30 days. It's write a draft of a manuscript in 30 days. So don't get so caught up in getting every little thing just right in the 30 days that you're not able to finish, you're not able to win. I am the worst about editing as I go. That's why nano was so helpful to me last year to get the rough draft of Something Wicked done, which was my nano project last year, was the rough draft to my third novel. Because I just had to make the words go. I just had to put the words down. And then when I went back in December and I edited it, it was so much easier because I wasn't second guessing myself the whole time I was writing. So I actually was getting stuff down on the paper that I think otherwise I would have probably been like, that's not a good idea. And then it ended up being very usable and very workable into some really cool stuff for the story itself. So don't lose sight of the fact that you're gonna have edit after edit after edit on this big draft, and the point is just put the words down in the time that you have. And my last thing, it's kind of a don't, but it's also a do. Don't forget what nano is for, and do remember what this is all about. It's about the writing community coming together and, you know, busting ass and like supporting each other and laughing and crying and doing lives, like write-ins on Instagram and YouTube, and you know, shouting each other out and be like, oh, my word count is this, oh, my word count is this, oh, what do you use for this, this, and this, like talking, hanging out on social media, coming together as people who are creating art and doing this like huge challenge all together. It's really, really cool. I met a lot of I met a lot of really cool people when I did nano last year that are still my friends on Instagram and stuff. So it sounds cheesy, but like that's the point of it, is to come together as a community and like do something really cool. So don't lose sight of that. Don't like retreat into your little bubble. Like use your community, use the platforms, like ask for help, like encourage each other. With that being said, clearly I'm dying and need to go drink some water, so that is going to complete this video. I make new videos every single Wednesday, and I will see you guys next Wednesday with another spooky video. Goodbye.